I'd like to say a very good afternoon to Kilo 2 Heroes followers. I thought I would give a brief summary of the activity that has occurred from May 1st to May 31st. This is a summary for the K2H operations. And as we would often say, every contact that we made is a thank you to a hero. So we've passed 71,427 lookups on QRZ. We have 113 operators in 50 New York counties, and 45 counties have turned in logs. In terms of the stations that K2H has worked, 135 countries, 1,654 counties in the U.S., more than half of the counties in the United States, 24,012 QSOs. I repeat that remarkable feat, 24,012 QSOs. 7 Earth to Moon to Earth contacts, 7 EME contacts, that's great. 2 SSTV contacts, 3 MSK 144 ROX Meteor Scatter contacts. 611 logs were submitted. So we have counties that have signed up, those that haven't signed up, probably the counties that we have, and about 10 counties that haven't signed up, but all in all, they did a phenomenal job. So I want to certainly thank Lou NO2C and Sally and K2RYD, Mike KC2SYF, and Karen KD2GUT for once again putting this remarkable event together. I had a wonderful time. Well, thank you, Larry. A very good afternoon to you. NN50. Ready for more of your magic? Well, I'm not sure. I've got some magic left in my pouch, but happy day also from New York, Long Island, New York. And I'm going to say happy day to Tupelo, Mississippi, birthplace of the King, Elvis Presley. Thank you so much. We are too. Tomorrow, Larry, we're going to have a wrap-up at a Zoom meeting of all the activity, and perhaps I'll have some more information to share. Well, it's certainly good to be back to the Kilo to Heroes summary, but once again, I'm returning to my station, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Here I am, Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. There's a lot of nice DX on the air, so we're going to play some of that. I've just worked Ocean Echo 3, India Delta Echo. Remarkable the strength of the signals coming in the afternoon. As we get into the summer solstice, we're getting more and more DX coming from Europe in the afternoons rather than in the evenings. That's the way propagation is now shifting. So it's interesting to see that, interesting to follow that. So I'm not sure where we're going with this, folks, in terms of how I will handle future broadcasts, but I'm thinking maybe I'd like to start certainly some information about how to obtain your FCC license. So I'm going to perhaps put a couple of ideas together on how we can discuss the ladder going up from a technician all the way up to extra. So we'll do that, and again, we'll keep that open. If anyone would be interested at all in something else to discuss on anything to do with amateur radio, we'd be more than happy to. But mostly it's about operating. So all right, so let's see what's going on the air. There's some really interesting activity, some really nice DX. My antenna's pointed towards Europe, so let's see what we could find on Europe, and let's go on to the bands. Thank you very much again for all your help and participation during the Kilo 2 Heroes event. Okay, so let's see what we can hear here. Stand by.
Thank you. Take care. Oscar Echo 3, Italy Delta Echo, secure X.
Isn't that remarkable? That's like a 20/9 signal
okay,
from Austria.
The Yankee Echo. Roger, Kilo Golf 5 WME, Cecile, greetings to Texas. Nice copy, 5-9 plus, Roger.
5-9, yeah, in Texas today. It's good to hear from you. Hope you get a lot of contacts. 73s.
Roger, thank you very much.
You bet, Larry. It's incredible signal from Austria.
Oscar Echo 3, Italy Delta Echo, secure DX.
Anyone could go on the QRZ site.
Lima X-ray.
Kilo Charlie 3 Sugar Whiskey Lima. Chris, I hope I fit correct.
Yeah, Larry, I'm using a Tri-X tower. The Tri-X tower can go to 70 feet. Right now, probably I'm at about 60 feet, which is a good takeoff angle to Europe. And I have my my antenna, which is a JK antenna, 2 elements on
Roger,
each
Chris.
frequency,
Yeah, okay,
and
thank you very much.
that
Well,
is up another 10 feet. So probably
one contact on
total,
40.
probably
And,
a total of about 65 feet. But that JK antenna has a small footprint, only a 12-foot boom, but just a magnificent operator. Really is doing a phenomenal job. And again, I have some height here where I'm located in Northport. So I'm about 250 feet, and I do have a clear shot, pretty much not too much interference between myself and the Atlantic Ocean, and of course myself in Long Island Sound. So yeah, that's a little bit of my operating conditions here. All right, let's see what else we can find here as we go around the band.
59. 73, thank you. Zero Echo Papa.
Kilo Echo 0, Echo Papa.
Kilo Echo 0 Echo Papaya 59.
Roger, roger, here, 59 in Lawrence, Kansas, 73, thank you.
72 to Kansas, thank you. 989 America.
Whiskey, 5, November, X-ray.
Delta, Juliet.
Yes, 7 Mexico again, 7 Mexico.
Very cool. Yeah, I miss my TH. Oh, that's a nice antenna. TH60XS at 120 feet. Very nice. And two Oscar 4 Bravo Alpha at 90 feet on separate towers from back to the 70s and 80s. Simple horizontal loop now, but I'll tell you something. Propagation like today, that's all you need, Larry. That's all you need is a simple horizontal loop. Okay, here's a station in Croatia. Let's see how we do with him.
Mike Zulu Hotel, good afternoon, yeah, 59. 73 to Central Massachusetts, thank you very much. 989 America, QRZ North America.
Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
W2JV, 59 plus.
Zvrenko, you're a 20 over 9 as usual. Wonderful signal, great audio. How are things going there for you? Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, by the way, you are 40, 45, incredible signal. 45 over 9. Excellent propagation tonight. Have fun, 73, and stay healthy. W2JV, 989A.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, maybe I should just put a wire and connect it to my rain gutter. I don't want to rattle your windows there too much. 73s, 9 Alpha, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor, clear.
Bye-bye, 73.
King George 5, Whiskey Yankee Echo.
King George 5 again.
Yeah, how about that? 40 over 9 in Croatia. Is that crazy? Well, that's mostly propagation, but that's fantastic. That's just that's good to hear. That really is.
Plus, sometimes speaking 20 over. My name here is Cecil, Charlie Echo, Charlie India Lima. QSL?
Yeah, QSL 72 to Fort Worth, thank you very much. Who was Victor Echo from Canada? Victor Echo? V1KY, good afternoon, 59 plus. Yes, 73, bye-bye. 989 America, QRZ outside of Europe, please, over. Standing Alpha. WA3QWA, good afternoon, yeah, 59 plus, over. Thank you very much. Whiskey 9 again. W9 Bravo Alpha 59. W9 Bravo Alpha 59. Do you copy? Over. Again? Yeah, once again you're...
Yeah, by the way, folks, my cousin, who's a pediatric nurse, we spoke a little bit last week. As I said during my broadcast, really nice to pick up the phone and speak to those folks on the front line. They really could use an opportunity to speak to someone that's outside of the medical profession, just to say hello and how are you and what's going on, and just to hear in their voice that everything's going okay. But anyway, we were speaking about, and it's also great to change the subject, right? So I said, she loves to take trips, and I said, have you taken any trips lately? Well, she said, lately, of course not. But last year she went to Croatia. And of course, we're speaking right now to 9 Alpha in Croatia, which reminded me. And she just could not speak more highly enough about the country, its people, the beauty from the mountains and the beaches. She just said it was incredible, to the food. So I did not know that. I had a good friend who was from Croatia, but never really asked about his country. You usually think about some of the negative things, but yeah. So I then took a look at the map and took a look at some of the things she was speaking of, and just phenomenal, beautiful, beautiful country. So anyway, Joe. Yeah, it's interesting here on Amateur Radio. You learn about geography and history, and you speak to folks in their land and get an idea of just what the lay of the land is. Anyway, that's a little story about Croatia.
WA4NJ 59. 73.
America, 5 Hotel.
AC0 Sugar Golf 59. 72 to Kansas, thank you. 989 America. Victoria, Roger.
Okay, thank you. You're 5-8, 58. My name is Vasily. QSL.
Is Vasily in
okay,
Moldova.
Thank you very much. Kilo Echo 8, Norway, Kilo Echo 8, Hotel Bravo Victoria, Echo Romeo 4 Delta X-ray, best 73, good luck, bye-bye. Echo Romeo 4 Delta X-ray, España, Roma 4, Dinamarca, Filofono, CQDX, over.
Roger, Vasily. Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
Oh my God, Whiskey 2, Japan, Victoria. Okay, thank you very much. You're 5-9 plus, 10 dB over, beautiful audio, QSL.
Vasily, you know from where you speak, Vasily, your audio is spectacular, wonderful modulation. Thank you so much. May I say your signal is 15 over 9, phenomenal job, Vasily. Good to talk with you again. Hope things are well there in Moldova. Thanks so much for going on the air today. ER4DX. Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. My name is Peter. Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo. Over to you, Vasily.
Okay, Peter, thank you very much. Very nice copy. Thank you. 15 dB over 9, my report. You 10 dB over 9, like local station. Best 73, Peter. Bye-bye.
Vasily, 73 is good DX, good health. Be safe.
Thank you. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Wasn't that incredible?
Radio 4 Delta X3, Echo Radio 4 Delta X3.
Oh, I haven't looked at his antenna farm, Larry. You got to look at that. Yeah, he's got, as they say, a bodacious signal.
Kilo November 4 November Tango, Roger.
Yeah, anything will work today. You'll get a 5-9 report with anything you put out there.
November Tango, KN4 TNT, Roger.
Yes, Kilo Nancy 4 Tango, Nancy Tango, Kilo November 4 Tango, November Tango, you 5-9, over.
Roger that, you were 5-7 to Alabama.
Yes, copy 5-7, my report. Thank you, 73, good luck, bye-bye.
Charlie Tango 2, Hotel Quebec Victoria.
Lima Quebec, ready, repeat call.
Charlie Tango 2, Hotel Quebec Victoria, 5-7.
Stand by, Charlie Tango. Please listen. Kilowatt Echo Station. Good. Okay. Thank you very much. Kilowatt Echo 8, Lima Queen, Italy, correct? Okay, thank you very much. Kilowatt Echo 8, Lima, Quebec.
I got to look at that H-dot.
59, over.
A lot of these folks, and Vasily may be one of them, Larry, he may be working remote. I think it's possible. I don't know if he lives right there.
You 5-9, 59 report, QSL. Okay, what's your name, please? Please, your name, please. Kilowatt Echo 8, Lima, Queen, Romeo. Please, your name. No, Echo Radio 4 Delta X-ray, CQDX, over.
Charlie Tango 2, Hotel Quebec Victoria, 5-7.
Charlie Tango 2, Hotel Quebec Victoria, Sincrueri, buenas tardes.
Buenas noches, 5-7. Mi nombre es Pedro. Pedro, Papa Echo Delta Romeo Oscar, ok?
Ok, Pedro, mi nombre è Vasily, Victor Alpha Sierra Italy Lima Yankee. Grazie Pedro, muito obrigado, ciao ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Echo Romeo for
Yeah,
Delta
holy
X-ray,
mackerel.
Echo Radio for
Larry, I
Delta
see what you're
X-ray
talking about. I've
CQDX.
got his page right now up on my screen. My
We say you
goodness.
again. Okay, Kilo Charlie 8, Sugar Whiskey Lima, correct?
Wow, look at that Foursquare. Look at that Foursquare. Isn't
Yes,
that beautiful?
hello, okay, thank you very much. Kilo Charlie 3, Sierra Whiskey Lima, Chris, you're 5-9, over.
Wow. Holy smokes. Yep, there's the H-stack. Holy moly.
Yes, Chris, thank you very much. Your same report, also 5-8 to 5-9. Thank you, Chris. 73, bye-bye. Echo Romeo 4 Delta X-ray. Echo Radio 4 Delta X-ray. CQDX, over.
November 4, India, Yankee, Quebec.
November 4, Italy, Yankee, Quebec. Okay, you're 5-9. Beautiful copy. 59, name is Vasily, over.
QS Vasily, certainly 5-9, occasionally 5 over S9, Northeast Tennessee, name is Chuck, Charlie Hotel Uniform Charlie Kilo, QSL.
Okay, Chuck, okay, thank you very much. Very nice copy, Chuck. Name is Vasily, thank you.
He probably
73,
owns that
good luck.
caffeine and bar.
73, stay safe, stay
I
healthy.
think.
Stay safe, bye-bye. Echo Romeo 4 Delta X-ray CQDX.
Yeah, I put my thumbs
Kilo,
up
Mike
too.
4, Papa Oscar, Papa.
Kilo Mike 4
Fantastic.
Papa Ocean Papa, nice Sina, 59 plus, over.
Kilo, 59 plus Florida. Name's Rob, 73, good DX, sir.
Ricardo there in Puerto Rico. Take care, my friend. Muchas gracias. America, 5 Hotel. Tango, Quebec. Kilo November 4, Romeo Tango, Juliet.
Yeah, those photos are incredible. That's nice when someone really takes the time to kind of give us a little history of what is possible. Yeah, in another lifetime.
What did you say, Pat? Buenos Aires?
Buenos Aires. All right, how do you spell that? 10 minutes. That's actually my favorite band, over.
Very good point, Larry. That's precisely my hope, that some of these folks that are playing Destiny 2 or Witchcraft or their iRacing or Alpha Cassetto, one of those games, they can migrate over here and they get an idea of just another hobby. Who knows?
Yeah, but you've got yours set up nicely too, PG. I got you here, very, very clear, crystal clear audio. So that works out really well. And I wish you all the best. Hope we can have more of these really nice QSOs in the future. Looking forward to them. So, good evening. Enjoy the band. And greetings from Hamburg, Germany. Alpha Alpha 5 Whiskey America from Delta Golf 7 Lima Alpha Lima. Bye-bye. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake there. I got it now. I corrected the call. So you're in the log. No problem, PG. Alpha Alpha 1, Whiskey America, Delta Golf 7 Lima Alpha Lima. Bye-bye, 75.
Charlie 6 Alpha Fox Victoria.
Charlie 6 Alpha Fox Victor. Let me just write this down real quick. Okay, Charlie 6 Alpha Fox Victoria. Very nice. Good signal. You're 5 and 9 here in Germany. My name is Reiner. The handle here is Radio Alpha India November Echo Radio. You're coming in loud and clear. I don't think I even need to turn the antenna. I would normally just be turning it a bit, but You're already S9. Doesn't have to be any louder than that. So, great signal. Charlie 6 Alpha Fox Victor. Delta Golf 7 Lima Alpha Lima. How
Oh,
copy you?
Hamburg, yes.
Oh,
I understand it's a
beautiful
beautiful
copy.
city.
You're
Haven't been there,
59
but that's
Name
nice.
is Delano. We're in Grand Bahama Island. Just running 80 watts into a 3-element mono.
Grand Bahama. So I'm getting him about 5 and 7 on the back of the beam.
Yeah, I bet. And since you're close, I'm assuming you're close to the water, so the takeoff must be excellent. And your 80 watts is good enough for an S9 signal here on my little 2-element monobander.
Roger. Well, we're not sitting on the water.
Wow,
We're,
2-element
on the
monobander.
north
Yeah,
side
it looks
of the
like I'm
island.
looking at his picture. It looks
But
like that's a
the
stepper,
water
if
is
I'm not
at least
mistaken.
7-8 miles to the north side. It's just that the Bahamas is paradise. Over.
Paradise.
I have no doubt. I was on with somebody from Miami a little while ago, about 10 minutes ago. I was talking to somebody from Florida, and he had sailed in the Bahamas. You know, he has a boat, and I think he spent a long time just sailing and enjoying the scenery and just the atmosphere. Yeah, I have no doubt. You know, all I know is the South Pacific. I've been
Yeah,
to
give me a memory
April
of
51,
Hamburg. I'll
the
pass it on
Southern Cook
to
Islands
Reiner when I speak
twice.
with him.
And I've been to Fiji last year. So I spent about a month, 2 months.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, you're
island
right.
hopping.
I can see those
And I know the
trumpets too.
feeling. You know, it's a different area of the world, but the feeling is the same.
Oh, absolutely. Wonderful. Where are you in Germany, and what radio? You have beautiful audio. Go ahead.
Oh, well, thanks very much. I appreciate that. You know, it took me a long time to play with the audio settings here. And I finally, I think I'll leave it like that. You know, I'm not going to play
I
anymore.
would leave it like that too.
This is an Anan 7000 software
Oh,
radio.
the Anan. There you go.
And I'm
Bingo.
running a Neumann DCM 104, large condenser on it. That's a studio mic they use here in broadcasting. All the German TV and radio stations, they have a bunch of these. And I got one used on eBay, so I couldn't resist. I bought it, and well, I'm very happy now. So, but you know what? It's hard to EQ. It's not so easy to get rid of the bassiness of the microphone.
Yeah, Roger. Well, there's nothing wrong with the bottom end. Yeah, we're familiar with the Neumann brand. We used to have a TLM 103, I believe. But we lost all of our equipment in Hurricane Dorian last September. We had a tsunami, and I had the 5 foot of water in my house. Over.
What a shame.
Oh, yeah. I remember. Terrible. We followed it on the news here. That's just so terrible. And that's when paradise is no longer paradise, right? When that happens, of course. So, how have you been coping, by the way? Did you get through this all right, over?
Yes, sir. We got through it okay. We're
Oh,
still,
that's good. Very nice.
rebuilding,
Thank you for that detail, Larry. I
the
appreciate
interior
that.
of the house, not completed because of this pandemic. It slowed down.
Did you happen to hear the
people
microphone
that were
he's
doing
using? He said it was a
repairs to the house,
broadcast microphone, but I think it
Oh,
sounds
yeah, and that's exactly
German,
the
but
same.
I wasn't sure.
In this country as well, you know. It's hard to find anybody to do the work if you need somebody, a handyman to fix things, if you can't do it yourself. Fortunately, being from the countryside,
Oh,
you know,
that's
I can
so
do a few
important.
things myself.
Very
but
nice.
Other than that, I always know people, you know. That's always important. You have to know the right people. And so we can somehow organize things. But you know what? It's difficult to find materials. If you need, you know, working materials, wood, any kind of supplies, they take forever. Sometimes you can't get them for months, over.
Wow.
Yep,
Wow.
understand completely.
That's quite surprising. Well, you know, we're an island archipelago, and a lot of stuff is imported. But what they have done is they still allowed the businesses, where the hardware stores were still able to bring in material. But then again, you know, people could not work. And so my father and my son, we have done most of the work in the house ourselves. Thank God for YouTube, over.
Exactly. That's what I use, you know, when I don't know how things are done. There's always some intelligent or, you know, a genius on YouTube to teach you how to do these things. You see, well, the hardware stores are open, but I think people are just crazy. I think it's mostly the people. They're trying to, buy supplies they don't even need. Toilet paper is one example. I mean, that's not they don't sell it in hardware stores, but you get the idea, right? Even though they might not need some plywood or whatever, people will just buy it just in case, you know?
Yeah, Roger. Oh, boy, but at least you guys don't get hurricanes. And it's almost hurricane season again, so only God knows, huh?
Yeah. And what was the island in El Salvador, I think, was affected really badly in Central America. I think I heard that on the news. So, yeah, hurricane season is about to begin. And, we don't get those, but we do get flooding, believe it or not.
No,
and,
that's a good idea, and that's what I'm doing, Larry, from time to time, is packaging 10 minutes of highlights,
south,
and I have a few friends that are in the school system, and when things get going again, hopefully they can give them a little bit of a show and tell.
They build their houses directly on the bank of the river, and of course they flood out every 5 years.
Oh, man, I couldn't. Oh, boy, I don't know.
Good idea, Larry, very good.
Several years ago, I visited California, and I flew from Miami to California.
Reiner does like to do this Cousteau-style DX, and I really like that a lot. That really gives us a good flavor of just his country and his ideas and so on. Great way to do it.
And the minute they get a huge rain and they get mudslides, it doesn't make any sense. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. As long as nothing happens, it's a beautiful view. But you can almost bank on something happening, and it's just a matter of time that they will lose their property. Well, you know, we've learned from past experience, I guess, up here, at least in my area. There have been severe floods. When the North Sea didn't have any barriers, the water would rush inland, and this village, for example, is only about 30 feet above sea level, and the surrounding area, believe it or not, is actually below sea level. So if it weren't for the ingenious Dutch who invented windmills to drive motor pumps, or not to drive pumps, to pump out the water, we would still be swimming most of the time here. So now, of course, it's all done with engines, motors, and but still, the water needs to be drained away, so we don't fill up like a bathtub here, Roger.
Oh, man, I couldn't even imagine that, man. Wow. Well, we are at sea level, so, but, whoever created this planet had an excellent plan, because even though we are basically flat,
thank you so much, Larry. I appreciate that confidence.
Is shallow water. We have the Great Bahama Bank and the Little Bahama Bank. And that was our saving grace, that as the hurricane came, it's rotating anti-clockwise. So it's sweeping the water from north, west, south. Okay, because Grand Bahama lays east and west. And so it actually built up on the shallow water. Man, if we were surrounded by deep water, I probably wouldn't be here, over.
Oh, yeah. That would have been a disaster. Even though this was bad enough as it was, I think you got lucky in that regard. Yeah, I've heard stories of my friends on Aitutaki and Echo 51. Almost everyone on this small atoll, they lost everything.
It looks like it was run over by a truck.
There are houses that people had left alone, and they just abandoned them, and nobody lives there anymore. The island is very small. You can walk around it in about 2 hours. No, 3 hours perhaps. But there may be 400 people on the island, and each and every single one of them lost their property when they were hit by a hurricane. It's a cyclone in that particular part of the world, but it's the same thing, the same phenomenon. And, you know, it just, because people don't have that much money, the houses are not really...
Larry, I really love your
in case of
enthusiasm,
when a
really a
hurricane,
lot. That's terrific,
directly
Larry.
hits you,
Thanks so much.
nothing
And
will-
I know if anyone
remain
will spread the
standing.
word,
But
you will.
yeah, even a minor one that just scrapes the island already does enough damage to cause a lot of pain and heartache, of course. Okay, so, well, I think I should probably be moving on because I heard a number of people and they're getting a little impatient. So I want to say hello to a few others while we still have propagation. Really nice talking to you. I think that you're my first C6. I have never talked to anybody from there, but this is really has been a most enjoyable QSO, and I didn't even have to line up and try to break through the pileup.
Roger, not a problem. I've been inactive for some time. I've been a ham over 30 years. And it's okay. All right, 73, my friend, take care. And I know how it is, so I'll move on. 73, enjoyed the QSO.
Yeah, all the best. And I might be visiting the Bahamas if I can actually organize it next year, if we can travel again. That's been on my bucket list for a long time. But I hope we will have more contacts before then and can talk a little bit more. Most enjoyable. Thanks very much. And I'm still not sure about the name. I'm looking at QRZ here, but I have no idea. Sorry. Is it... How do you say it? Is it Delano, or what name do you go by? What's your radio name? Go ahead.
Roger, you can call me Delano, you can call me Delano, you can call me Delano there, Roger.
It's basically the same with mine. When I spell it out and don't tell people how to pronounce it, it comes out as Rainier, something like that, you know. But it doesn't matter, you know. I'm perfectly happy with it. It's just funny that, you know, my last name is Storm, so you can imagine that some people got it wrong and they wondered if I was actually called Rain or Storm. They thought that was kind of funny.
That's funny.
Man, that is hilarious. All right, my friend. Actually, my mother named me after the American president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, so Delano is the correct pronunciation. Okay, 73, be well.
Delano, yes, of course. Yes, now that you mention it. Very nice. All the best to you, and yes, stay safe, my friend, and we'll talk soon, hopefully. C6AFV, Delta Golf 7, Lima Alpha Lima. Bye-bye, 76.
Roger, you're almost 40 over 9, 40 dB over 9, 73.
Where am I 40 over 9? That's not really possible, is it?
Whiskey 2, Juliet to Victor.
40 over in my receiver now.
Whiskey 2, Juliet to Victor.
Hang on a sec. Let me just sort this out. First of all, can I please ask who was saying I was 40 over 9? What is your call sign, please?
No, that was Delano, C6AFV. I just was telling you you're peaking 40 over now.
That's just unreal. I've never received a report like that, you know. You sure something's maybe not wrong with your S-meter?
All right, Delano.
73.
All the best. Nice talking to you. Really enjoyable QSO. So, and somebody, hang on a sec, everybody. Somebody was saying Reiner. Who was that station?
This is Whiskey 2, Juliet to Victor.
KB1LV, I think. Kilo Bravo. Hang on, everybody. Kilo Bravo 1. Yeah, I need your call, please. What is your call? Okay. Kilo Bravo 1, Lima Victor. Very good. So, yeah, did you check out my tower? Is that what you were saying? You can't believe it's not really tall. It's only about 20 meters up. No problem. Nice to meet you once again, Ben. Good evening. You're still loud here. I got no problem copying you. The antenna is up. The longest element is 11 meters, and there are 9 elements, so it's not really a big antenna. It's only a 2-element monobander on an 18-foot boom, but Yeah, I suppose it's the way the picture was taken. And I used a bit of Photoshop to make it look more dramatic than it actually is then. Good enough. Auf Wiedersehen. Nice talking to you. This is Delta Golf 7, Lima Alpha Lima.
Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
All right. Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. Sorry, I didn't get back to you straight away, but I got you now. You're very loud here. You're 10 over 9. No problem at all. Handle is Reiner, Radio Alpha India, November Echo Radio. I'm near Hamburg in the north of Germany. And like I said, I think you're 10 over 9.
Oh, Roger Reiner. You're 10 to 15 over 9, Reiner. But most importantly, very impressed with your audio. Just fantastic. Just the right balance of highs and lows. If you wouldn't mind sharing with me the microphone you're using. I was going to ask you about your equalizer settings, but you have one of the best radios on the market, the Anon 7000. I have the brother. I have the Flex 6400, and I'm running that to an SPE amplifier, and I'm using a JK antenna. Just wonderful listening to your QSO style of DX running, Reiner. I think it's fantastic. Again, my name is Peter, Pop Echo Tango Echo Romeo, and I'm located in Northport, New York. Northport, New York. Just finished 31 days of the Kilo 2 Heroes very special event, thanking all those frontline workers. We had over 20,000 QSOs. Very proud of that, and really sent a lot of messages to those frontline workers. Reiner, I'm also streaming this through Twitch TV, so if you want to monitor your signal, not that you have to, it's on Twitch TV with my call sign Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor. Back over to you, Reiner. What a wonderful signal. Fantastic. Delta Juliet 7 Lima Alpha Lima. This is Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor.
Oh, Roger, well, thanks for the flowers. I've been playing around with this stuff because of Corona. There was not much else to do at certain times. So I decided to take everything apart, put it back together, just because I thought just wanted a project. And, that's what I've come up with now after about a week of this. I'm a bit tired of of playing around with this stuff now. I didn't think it would get so complicated. Once you get started, you discover things you can try that I haven't tried before, and I wanted to. That old stuff lying around, I thought I could maybe use that. With these Anons or with the Flex radios, doesn't matter, any SDR, you have all these options of running the audio, routing it different ways. And I hadn't tried all of them yet, so I'm just using something that I think the Flex also has. It's called virtual audio cable. You don't need a lead to the rig anymore. You just run the audio into the computer via a USB sound interface. And I'm using here, in this case, it's a Universal Audio Apollo Twin, and that's using their own brand of VST. It's not called VST plugins, like in other digital audio workstations, but they have their own flavor of those, and they charge quite a bit of money for them if you want to buy them after you got the hardware, but it comes with enough stuff to shape and play around with your audio. I don't need to buy anything. The only thing I really wanted, and there's a grace period of 2 weeks, you can try out stuff, all of their offerings, and I was using a multi-band compressor, and the 2 weeks ran out around Christmas, and I really wanted that, so it's clever marketing, so I bought that, and that's the only one I had to pay for extra, and I'm running, they've got a really nice, very nice parametric EQs, a whole bunch of them, and I chose one of those, and then I'm running. Well, I had no idea about all this stuff, but they have really good videos on why the stuff that they are offering is so good. I mean, it's got a history. The preamps are classic stuff that they used in music production for decades, and they're just emulating the old audio consoles that people used to use in the studios. Even make them look like the old stuff. So it looks exactly like the old equipment that I never had the chance to use, but now I'm learning all this stuff, and it's fantastic. It's a great learning experience. as I'm not an audio expert or engineer or don't have anything to do professionally with audio, but it is fun to play around with, I have to say. So the mic is a Neumann BCM 104 that people use in the studios. I had actually done some research and decided that if I wanted to spend some money, I might as well buy the stuff from Berlin and get something decent. I think you don't really need to buy any other microphone anymore after this one. And this goes into an SPL channel strip. It's a Frontliner. That's a German company that produces really good quality stuff. So that set me back a bit of money, but after all, that's all the gear I ever need. And if I change radios, the gear will still be there and I can use it. So there you go. But I guess there are about 100 different settings that you can play around with, and you can, of course, go off in strange ways, and the audio sounds absolutely terrible. I've been there too.
Roger, Reiner. Roger. Well, no doubt you have it spot on right now. Spot on. And I'm sure that you've heard people give recordings of what you've accomplished. And certainly I think you can record. That's the one thing that we're a little bit concerned about with Flex. You've got so many software additions there. I believe you're able to capture your audio, or you can record your audio. I believe you have a recorder that when you're in contest mode, if you want, you can also use those audio files. Something that Flex certainly hasn't adopted yet. But again, it's all software, right, Reiner? So it can be done just as easily as pure signal pre-distortion. Also, I think is something within the range and the realm of possibility with Flex as well. Yeah, I'm curious how you came about making the decision to go to Anon. Have you had other SDR receivers, and did your research point you in this direction after really studying the market? Certainly, it's phenomenal radio. It really is. And looking at your QRZ page, some interesting pictures there. The antenna system, the trumpets, is that no? That's not a stepper IR. I know you mentioned that it was another beam that you had, but and then that picture of the rotor. My goodness, it looks like it was run over by an 18-wheel truck. But yeah, it's they are clever in marketing, but nevertheless, clever or not, the end result is really very, 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 very remarkable. And you never think that you've reached the end of the line. That's the one thing about us amateur radio operators. We never stop experimenting and trying new and different things. And I think that's what makes our hobby certainly exciting. But as I spoke to so many thousands of people over this past month, and they had all kinds of different antenna systems from people that had a wire on their gutter, the rain gutter antenna, as one would call it. Those with the G5 RVs and verticals, but and propagation is good. You can put anything out at all, and that's the idea, to get on the air. A lot of people they want to wait until things are just perfect, but that not often is the case, for sure. I'm like as I said, I'm streaming here through Twitch TV, and I have a gentleman here who is following our stream, and he said that I spent some time certainly in Belgium and Potsdam. We were talking about different places he was in. He was in Hamburg, and one thing he said the one thing that I certainly was taken aback by was the people. The people were just beautiful people, wonderful people to be with. The kindness, the hospitality, and he said the countryside was just phenomenal. So that's certainly one of those things on my bucket list for sure. Yeah, we're here on the North Shore right now. We're up about 300 feet or so, Reiner. We were on the South Shore of Long Island, and we lost our house to Hurricane Sandy, and for some odd reason, we were in the house during the hurricane when there was 8 feet of water outside. A real scary time, but we got through it. And as much as we love being on the water, Reiner, and as much as we love the takeoff angle, being on salt water, we decided to go to higher ground, and we're okay here. Except the only problem is we're in the woods, and we have a lot of allergies, and clearly the tree pollen is really something that really is hard to get over. So who knows? We may we may move back to the water, but maybe certainly in higher ground. We were really at about 3 feet in terms of elevation. Reiner, I know you've got a lot of people I want to talk with you. You're so interesting to talk with. I just love your style, love explaining the different pieces of equipment you have. And I thank you for that very, very much. Over to you, sir. DJ7 LAL, this is a Whiskey 2 Juliet Victor.
Yeah, but you're not so bad yourself, you know. Yeah, I can tell you have some experience and in talking to people, so it sounds really nice. By the way, your flex also sounds really, really good. Nicely set up here. I've got the headphones on, and I'm listening to you here talking away. It's beautiful. Sounds wonderful. Yeah. Well, something I wanted to comment. Oh, yes. I would like to find out a bit more about the special event, but you don't have to tell me, Peter. I can obviously just read through your QRZ page, and I'll find out what that is all about. But I must commend you on your community service and putting something
right,
on
DG
the
Delta
air.
Juliet,
and you know, just the fact that you're doing so much to keep things going and to show some gratitude to people who have really done more than they actually should have, you know, so it's gone beyond the call of duty and rendered the services that are so dearly needed these days. So thank you for that.
No, Reiner, not at all. It was a remarkable event. There were so many ranges of emotion. We originally, our intent with this Kilo 2 Heroes event was to thank all the workers on the front lines in New York State, anyone from the nurses, the doctors, the EMTs, the lab technicians, you know, those that drive the food services trucks, those that deliver the mail, the postmen. We had all of those we were saluting. And we just expected other amateur radios around the world in the United States, Reiner, just to say, hey, thank you very much, and move on. But they really wanted to talk. They wanted to talk about their experiences. They wanted to talk about the anxiety they felt because their daughter, their son, their niece, their nephew, they were on the front lines. They were in an IC unit, and they were scared to death every single day, especially during the beginning of this crisis, Reiner, when we didn't have the proper PPE equipment that we were doling out. And they were using the same mask for a week at a time, which is just horrible. So that was when things were at their worst, and certainly they were describing that. And then, of course, there were the very sad moments, people that lost their brothers, their mothers, their aunts to the COVID-19 crisis. So it turned out to be, I guess, what I would call a venting session, Reiner. But I think, as we know, if we have feelings, we need to communicate them rather than bottle them up. And these folks, these amateur radio operators, were really doing that. And it turned out to be a cathartic event, Reiner, for both of us, for those that we were thanking on the front lines and those amateur operators who had this terrific anxiety and didn't know where to turn. And I guess we gave them an outlet to do that. So we were very proud to do that. And, you know, the ARRL, Reiner, usually doesn't offer a call sign, a special call sign like that, for more than a couple of days to a week. But the individual there, she said, I have a brother who's an EMT and love what you're going to do, and you can have it for the entire month. Well, my wife, she wasn't too happy, Reiner, that we said that, but I committed to do it every single day, and I committed to stream it as well. So I streamed it through Twitch TV, a popular streaming network and platform for folks that are doing gaming events. So I did that, and I packaged 10 minutes of highlights and made sure a lot of the hospitals and the nursing homes, they got a copy of it. So a lot of the nurses and EMTs would come back to us and say, great, you made us feel really good that somebody cares. So it turned out to be a very, very heartwarming event. And we felt, as amateur radio operators, you know, the FCC says your first duty as an FCC, as an operator, is a service. So we certainly felt, Reiner, that we were doing our service, and it changed me. It really did. It was emotionally exhausting after I did 2 or 3 hours on the air. It just really did. But it was a happy event. Sorry to bore you with all this, Reiner, but I'm still glowing from it. Delta Golf 7, Lima Alpha Lima, Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
I can feel it too. This is amazing. Yes, great. Very nice. Great effort, and I'm sure it will have done some good. A lot of good, actually. So I've been wondering, and when I've been following the news, there's on the German news, there's nothing but Corona stuff on at the moment. And of course, when the United States began to be severely affected, and then it really took off in New York and New Jersey and so on. I mean, that was just the saddest time of my life. I could not believe what was happening. I just couldn't get my head around the unfolding of the events and the momentum it had. It developed into something that turned into like a monstrous thing that at one point or another initially, I felt like I really don't know if we can control this beast. You know, it looks like it's getting too big. It feeds off of all of us, and we don't know how to kill it, right? I mean, how to go about it, because it's so new, and we have no idea what might be the right approach to getting a handle on these things, on the whole phenomenon. Well, there's been a really nice man here on German radio, and he has been very instrumental at developing a test to, the sequencing of the genome of the virus actually happened. He was one of the guys who was at the front lines of that, and so he's been trying to educate the general public in layman's words about, well, what they're doing and how they think we might move forward. So they've been steering a kind of a wiggly course. It's not been a straight line. Initially, they said, well, officials said, well, masks are no good. You know, you should not wear. We don't need to wear them because they're scarce, and they should be reserved for those who really need them, like caregivers in hospitals, doctors, surgeons, and so on and so forth. And now, of course, well, there's no longer a shortage. So we're all required to wear them now, and that's been making a huge difference. In hindsight, even this expert, he didn't anticipate that the effect would be so great. And they're now thinking about extending the wearing of masks and making it mandatory whenever you leave your house. It hasn't been that way up till now, but I think they're going to shift around. So that me as a teacher, we have to wear them at school now. We were going back to school after the summer holidays in August, and I suppose we will be trying to teach with the masks on. I don't know how that works, but we'll see. We'll find a way. And that's all it is. You know, we take one step at a time, and I am now cautiously optimistic that the whole thing can be handled and can be beaten. I think we're on the right course now, slowly. This will be a while, but it's coming right. I have a feeling. Okay, this was a very long one, but it's on my mind as well, like it is on everybody else's, I'm sure. Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor, Delta Golf 7, Lima Alpha Lima, over.
Oh, Roger, Reiner. Roger, good words, and certainly you've accumulated quite a bit of knowledge. And boy, I'm so happy to hear that you're a teacher. I can just imagine how effective and how your words, just the way you speak in such measured tones. If I was your student, I would certainly be hanging on every word. And I'm sure you draw a lot of stories from just your general life, for sure. So that's wonderful to hear. And yeah, it's something. Wearing masks, you know, I certainly, we understand those in the healthcare field. They're accustomed to masks. But when I see someone, you know, in the supermarket, a grocery clerk, a young girl, 18 years old, and she's got the mask on, and you could really tell how uncomfortable she is. It's mandatory that everyone wears masks here in New York, and you just feel so much for her, someone like her, people like her, that are working in a store because they're trying to get themselves through school, and I really am impressed with those folks. Yeah, as far as getting a handle on it, we're certainly, as the masses certainly infect one another, the theory about the mass is able to somehow neutralize it, because the more people that get it, the less opportunity will be to be passed on to others. And as long as the people that have pre-existing conditions, Reiner, just stay back, while others, you know, can infect one another if they're not careful. And many of folks that we see are not being very careful about it. But right now, the most important thing is convalescent plasma. Those that have tested positive for COVID-19, if they can get the antibody test, and they could certainly donate their plasma through the blood banks, through the American Red Cross, and whatever their favorite location is, that would save lives. Those folks that are not able to respond to the respiratory therapies, that convalescent plasma, one pint of plasma, 1 unit, can be translated into 2 units and save lives. So that's another thing people can do, and I've been certainly preaching that over the air about the use of antibody testing. And clearly, the more tests we're doing, and now these tests are becoming more sophisticated. We're getting quicker turnaround, and we're able to also test for those that have COVID-19 and also at the same time an antibody testing. So that will be another way to get out of it and save some lives that otherwise might have been lost early on. Well, thank you, Reiner. Yep, I certainly feel very good about the way things are going, and there are enough companies, enough pharmaceutical companies that are getting a handle on it, and one in particular is in third-stage testing on a very successful, so far, vaccine that's working very well. So hopefully we will see some good results from that soon. Reiner, I know this has been long, but I really enjoyed every single moment of it, and thank you so much. We ran the gamut from technical talk to medical talk, and that's the beauty and freedom of amateur radio. Reiner, I'll send it over to you for your finals, and thank you so much, though, for taking the time to talk with us. Enjoy the day. Be safe, and be patient out there. We'll soon get through this. Delta Golf 7, Lima Alpha Lima. What a great signal. Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
Yeah, you've been consistently 5 to 10 dB over S9 here on my end here in Hamburg. So also absolutely stable signal, very nice and solid. So this is like a telephone conversation or a Skype interview or something. So it is just really cool. All the best, and thanks very much. I appreciate it. Also, my pleasure to be able to talk to you and contribute a bit of my views. Whatever, they're not worth a lot, but that's all right. It's all about talking, like you said. Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor, and Delta Golf 7, Lima, Lima Alpha Lima. Auf Wiedersehen. 73, 70.
Wiedersehen. And your signal also was 10 over 9 with audio that is just one for the record book. So I'm going to package that audio. Thanks a lot, Reiner. Enjoy the day. It's a pleasure, and you did have an awful lot to offer. You're much, much too humble. 73, sir. Enjoy, and do look forward to speaking with you again. Be well, be safe. Auf Wiedersehen.
76, bye-bye. This is Delta Golf 7, Lima Alpha Lima, calling CQ North America. George.
Whiskey 4, Mike Hotel, November 4, Radio, Whiskey Radio.
Whiskey 4, Papa Mike Hotel. And that's another November 4, I also heard at the tail end of that. But Whiskey 4, Papa Mike Hotel. Very good evening, or I should say good morning, here from Germany. My name is Reiner. The handle is Radio America, India, November, Echo Radio. Near Hamburg in the north on a dairy farm. I hope you copy me okay. Your signal is 5 and 6. Whiskey 4, Papa Mike Hotel, from Delta Golf 7, Lima Alpha Lima. How copy?
Okay, Reiner. Same here as Papa Alpha Uniform Lima. And yes, your signal is clear as a bell. Wonderful signal, and I've had the pleasure of listening to your last conversation and learning from you. Over.
Yeah, there's not much, I guess, that I could contribute, but I just felt like I wanted to share my the German perspective, whatever that is, on this whole crisis. I mean, everybody's going through it in their own way, I suppose, and we don't, it's always good. It definitely is the right thing to do, talk about it and find out where we are at, because if we don't talk, this is terrible. We're already required to isolate ourselves physically from one another, so at least we should use this medium here, amateur radio, to pull together in another way. If not physically, then at least via the airways, and also so that we can talk about stuff. Okay, so yeah, very nice. Signal's good. You're sounding also very clear. I have no QRM anymore. The band has gone quiet. It was a lot different about an hour ago. It was hard to find a clear frequency, but I think basically that the propagation is now on its way out, and I don't think we'll have much life left in the 20-meter band, but we can complete this QSO, I'm sure. Whiskey 4, Papa Mike Hotel, DZ7 LAL. Go ahead.
Okay, Reiner. Well, it's a pleasure. I always have trouble getting to Germany and England. I don't know what the reason is. I skip over and go to Middle Europe, but I'm being of German extraction. I'm delighted to speak to Germans and get their perspective on things because we are.
My pleasure, Larry. Thank you so very, very much for also making my day as well. Thank you. Enjoy the dinner. I'm going to be leaving as well soon. Thank you so much for your compliments. I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you. Smart multiflex, good. Join. Okay. We have joined you via my 6600M. All right, yeah, 73s. Thank you so very much. Best wishes to you as well. And until we meet again, NN50. Thanks so much. 73s.
People have very strong feelings about individual freedom and rights. How is it going over where you are? Over.
Yeah, I don't know.
I used to live in the States, so I get that.
Now it's showing that your signal is transmitting at 14.26736. So I have you in kind of an odd frequency. What frequency are you transmitting on? Over.
Okay, I believe I don't have a problem with this radio because it's keeping doing it. It keeps doing it, changing frequency. The other way, I was talking to like it happens right now between you and I. So I believe the radio is I don't know, it's going off frequency by itself.
Okay, well, I've got you at 14.26750 at the moment. All right, my friend, well, you take care out there. 73. Great talking to you over there in Puerto Rico. Hopefully we'll get a chance to do it again. Enjoy the rest of the propagation out there this evening. Dennis in Grant, Florida. KK4 A&E clear.
Okay, Dennis, enjoy the rest of the evening. Nice to, really appreciate that. Nice contact, okay? Kilo 4 Alpha November Echo. The Kilo Papa 4 Delta Echo Romeo 73, sir. Good evening.
Kilo Alpha 9, Zulu Yankee Whiskey.
Hola, ¿por qué?
¿Por qué yo ahora le caigo a
No Italians on the air right now? I guess not. Let's see.
Oh, Prime Minister Julio, and
I wish you 73 and have a very good evening and stay safe. IU2, IDU, W3.
There you go. There's somebody.
Thank you, 73. This is Italy Uniform 2, India Delta Uniform, beaming North America listening.
This is Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. Whiskey 2, Japan, Victoria.
India Delta Uniform, beaming North America, standing by.
Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
Roger, Whiskey 2, Juliet, give me the last letter, please.
Roger, prego. Julia, it's Whiskey 2, Japan, Victoria. Japan, Victoria.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. Whiskey 2, Japan, Victor. Good evening. IU2, IDU, returning, Peter. My name is Giulio. Golf, India, Uniform, Lima, India, Oscar. You're booming 59 in North Italy. Really, 59, loud signal, over.
Giulio, thank you. The same to you as well. Prego. Your signal is about 10 to 15 over 9 here in Long Island, New York. Really wonderful signal. As you know, my name is Peter. Thank you. And very much like your QRZ picture, I have a picture of Italy where you're located. Very, very nicely designed picture, Giulio. Hopefully things are going well there in Italy. I have a little bit of Italy here. I'm using the SPE Expert amplifier that certainly was produced in Rome, Italy, that I received a couple of weeks ago, Giulio. Thanks so much. Good signal. Italy Uniform 2, Italy, Delta Uniform. This is Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor.
Roger. I also appreciate your pictures on your QRZ.com page. I'm running 500 watts with Ameritron Alpha Lima 811 Hotel. 500 watts beaming your direction is Italian legal power. I'm running a Delta Loop antenna beaming your direction for 20 meters band. Thank you very much. You're picking 59 plus 10 now QSL.
Oh, QSL, Giulio. Your 811H is a wonderful amplifier. Ameritron really put some nice tubes in that amplifier. Doing a wonderful job. And a Delta Loop is always a very, very good performer. Julio, 73s to you, 73s. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and thank you so much for picking up my call. Ciao to you. Italy Uniform 2, Italy Delta Uniform. This is Whiskey 2, Juliet Victor. 73s, Julio. Ciao to you.
Roger, Roger. Thank you very much for nice QSO 73. Peter, bye-bye. Stay safe. Thank you.
Stay safe as you as well. Be well. 73s, Julio.
Thank you. Bye-bye. This is India Uniform 2, India Delta Uniform, maybe North American Italy.
There we go. That propagation is still strong.
November, Bravo, Tango.
Okay, November 3, November, Bravo, Tango. Thank you. Good evening. Robert, IU2, IDU returning. You're 5x8 in North Italy, 58. The name is Giulio. Golf, India Uniform, Lima, India, Oscar, QSL. Okay.
And thank you, folks, for really watching the stream. I appreciate that. Hope you're getting some fun and entertainment out of it. Try to be entertaining here on Amateur Radio. If you have any questions, by all means, shoot them through the chat line. You know my call. If you would like to also do it via the email, do that as well. It'd be my pleasure to comment at all. And if there's anything else different that you'd like, let me know. But we're getting some nice propagation these days in the afternoon, so we'll take advantage of that. Thanks so very much, everybody.
Whiskey 5, Radio Charlie Golf.
Decision Radio Charlie Golf again.
Whiskey 5, Radio Charlie Golf. Robert in Long Beach, Mississippi.
Yes, I got Whiskey 5, Romeo Charlie Golf. Bob, Robert, I think. Robert, thank you. IU2, IDU returning. Julio is my name. Golf, India Uniform, Lima, India, Oscar. You're 5'9", picking 59 here in North Italy, QSL.
QSL, Julio, you're picking a 5x9 also into Mississippi. I won't hold you. I'll say thank you and 73s to you and your family.
Okay, I think we'll conclude this broadcast today. I enjoyed it very much. Got some good DX, a lot of fun, nice bunch of QSOs as well. So 73s, everybody, and